Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you are all doing well and enjoying your day so far, and where to even begin. Yesterday was absolute chaos on the timeline. There were like 3 different dramas going down at the same time. Crimsix versus Neptune part 3, Censor versus Accuracy part 2, more cheating accusations going on, the whole league play stuff. We'll talk about that later today. Let's just crack right on with things then, because this is absolutely crazy. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you were new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Lots of new subscribers yesterday, thank you very much for that. Let's keep that train going into the 45,000 subscriber milestone on the horizon very soon indeed. Crim tweets this yesterday, I'm getting you guys the bag to me and Jake Lucky, so yeah, Crim's certainly on fire as of late. It's a shame his new CDL headshot is absolutely tragic, or well, that'd be on the thumbnail a little bit more often. Let's get on with things then. So as Crim says a couple of days ago now, I present to you the head developer on Activision Anti-Cheat Justice has arrived, and this just cracked me up, to be honest. It makes me laugh every single time I see this. But Crimsix went on to continue his rampage against Neptune, right? So we've seen this whole discussion regarding the auto sprint mechanic in the game. Supposedly Neptune was using it. Crimsix other pros believe that he was. He won't like admit to using it. The Florida guys won't admit to using it. And we talked about yesterday some of the trust issues that is creating within the CDL pro scene at the current time. So Crim versus Neptune is a drama that's going to last for some time. And all the things we talk about today, they're not just relevant in the here and now, they're also potentially relevant in the future, right? Every single time these guys match up in a pro league match, there's going to be this that comes back to the forefront, right? And that, of course, is pretty exciting. Call of Duty lives off the personalities and the drama and the rivalry. So Crimsix says, so this happens, and Neptune on host. So even in a scrim, Crim's firing shots. Won't start the next map because I talked trash in the game chat. They chalked the scrim and even kicked us from the lobby. Guys were even calling Rambo Ray, that's the coach of the Dallas Empire, weird. 9.3k damage on your 18-year-old forehead. So Crim drops 65 at limbs, 9,300 damage, almost up against the Florida Mutineers. And Scrim's Neptune had 7k to his credit here on Crossroads Strike. But yeah, pretty impressive map from Crimsix, of course. And yeah, even in a scrim, the trash talk does still commence. So moving on from that, of course, we have this whole situation. Sky says earlier, yesterday Mutineers breathes air, everyone at cheaters, and there were some more cheating discussions that came out from some of the pro players. I mean, a lot of pros seem to think that Florida are kind of a dodgy team for a number of reasons. Not only this recent thing with the whole Neptune debacle, but also last year as well. That was the implication, at least from Clayster. So Clay says, look, I think this whole ATS thing is just gassed up. An accessibility setting like ATS maybe should be allowed if we are allowed digital sticks and stuff, but 100% you'll start glitched us into oblivion 2 events in a row. So you guys might remember this last year, right? There was this start glitch in the game where Florida Mutineers, Minnesota Rokkr, well, there's a lot of accusations coming out last night regarding, teams that were using this to cheat. Effectively, if you died in that game, you could press the start button and get to see while you're watching the kill cam exactly where the entire enemy team was on the map. And this was a problem like way back in the day in Call of Duty, but no one really discovered this, or at least it wasn't talked about until right before the World Championship, right? I think a few weeks before the World Championship, it kind of came out, or maybe before like the final home series of the season, that okay, this start glitch was a thing, and it was potentially affecting pro league matches. It seems incredible to me that no pro teams found out about this before. Apparently you can press the start button and you can see where the enemies are on the minimap the entire time. I'm totally sure that the pros who play this game 12 hours a day had never found that before. Like, I'm sure they knew about this. I'm sure some of them knew about this at the very least before it came to light. And what Clayster is saying is, look, well, before it actually came to light and before people in the community were talking about it, he believes that, some teams, such as the Florida Mutineers, were using it in their matches. As Frosty says, whoa, we were the first ones to bring it up to the league as soon as we found out, while other teams knew about it and didn't say anything. It was comedy when we played Minnesota, and they said remember to hit start in their listenings. Dirty cheaters. So Frosty no longer in the league, of course. He's having some questions. I think he's signed to Sentinels now to play Halo when that game does release. So he's basically saying, like, Minnesota were dirty cheaters in their listenings. They were talking about remember to hit the start button, guys, so you can effectively cheat and see where the other team are. So Arcitys clarifies this real quick. Is that not a glitch to see names through a wall, or is that different? Effectively it's a pretty similar thing. You can just bring up the start button and see where they are on the minimap while the kill cam is playing, as if you were playing from the perspective of the player that killed you. But as Silly says on the Minnesota Rokkr last year, whoa, we were debating on using it after we were informed multiple teams were using the start glitch, not like we were trying to get an upper hand. So, I mean, pretty incredible stuff. Who knows who's exactly in the right here? But still, several months after the last title finishes, there's more accusations about cheating last time around. And well, if the pros were using something dodgy like this last season, what is to say they're not using something dodgy this season? The auto sprint situation still continues on right now. Not exactly the best look for a number of our pro players. So moving on from this then, we then get the third drama of the day. That was Censor versus Accuracy Part 2. RJ kicked this whole thing off, as we're going to look at right here in a second. So a few days ago, just to explain the background of this. Accuracy says this on Twitter. This really came from the fact that there was rumours that Paul X was joining a Pro League team. Turns out it was actually going to be the London Royal Ravens, who have now picked up Parasite instead because, well, Paul X didn't want to leave Wester because then he would lose his spot on that team to Sib, was the rumour at the time. Now, when Censor found out about this, that Paul X was potentially joining a team, he said in some amateur scrim chats, like, okay, he must be joining a team for a weak assault rifle in the league. Maybe that's Accuracy from the Minnesota Rokkr. And then I think Brian Sank was in the chat, told Accuracy, and then he tweeted out the following: Lamar, you are trash, in response. So then it kicks off again yesterday. So RJ tweets this out: damn, Censor wasn't wrong about Accuracy. The Los Angeles Thieves did their ranking, their Call of Duty competition, group door reactions video. So great to see Los Angeles Grillers popping off on the content game, or at least starting the train towards some fantastic content for the season. And they talk about here, okay, who would you gun in a 1 versus 1? They pretty much all say Accuracy. Now, they're all friends with Accuracy, so obviously they're saying this for a reason, but Censor decides to weigh in, of course. So Accuracy says, like, you realise it's all because I'm really good friends with these guys, and I live with one of them, that being Slasher, of course. But as Censor says, you realise nobody would care if you didn't tweet me, right? And a pretty funny exchange here between Methods and Censor. Lamar got so hurt that I said he is trash in private. He let his insecure ego get to him. I'm thinking a 1000 fist bump 8 series tonight with you two as captains. I'm down. Can I handpick my team? Yeah, as long as you don't pick me, says Methods. So yeah, that was kind of the first thing. Then we go on to the actual back and forth between Censor and Accuracy part 2. Yeah, we get this reply. So you begged all of us not to go after you after the first season and stop telling the stories about all the fake manipulative BS you were doing so you can try and get on a team. So last year, of course, Censor was on the New York Subliners as a substitute. He talked about, I believe, or maybe the Stay Attached podcast or somewhere else. I think it was actually on a Triumph Gaming podcast that, well, he was promised effectively that the New York Subliners would give him a spot on the team. He was told by the management that, okay, yes, we are trying to get you in the starting lineup. And when it didn't happen at the start of the season, he then went to the management squad. He went to all these people and said, look, you got to give me a chance. Like, yeah, I was promised this. You need to give it a go. And that's when we actually saw Censor play a scrim with the New York Subliners for a little while. I think some of the players stepped out and Censor came in. And that was after they got rid of Zero from the team and brought Happy into the squad, which seemed like a massive disrespect to Censor, given Censor had actually been the one playing and trying to play the game. And Happy, I don't think he'd really played it at all, but he was better friends with the guys on that team. So there was definitely some drama, definitely some frustrations from Censor's side, the fact that he never got a spot on that team last season after effectively being promised it. And it seems like Censor's kind of, well, chucking the blame of that onto Accuracy, right? So Accuracy then says, like, you were doing all this manipulative BS, maybe with the management staff or whatever, to try and kick us off the team so you could get on the team. I never even mentioned your name to anyone, yet you still have an obsession with me. Expose all the fake manipulative BS then, and I will expose all the stuff you did to make sure I didn't even get a map in last year when you were dead last in the league. And Accuracy continues, that is the thing, I do not care about you, but you keep talking about me after you asked us to drop everything, and I did, and I didn't mention you anymore. Lamar, I love your work ethic, but you left a bad taste in my mouth after you blacklisted me last year and restrained me from any opportunity. It was a waste of time and a lack of respect. Just acknowledge it and move on. But as Accuracy says, there was some confusion here. Why do you think I'm the sole reason you didn't get to play? Who do you think I was, do you think I was the owner of the team and my opinion was final? No one on the team wanted to play with you. I was the only one being real with you and not hiding it. You were the furthest thing from being real with me, brother. So maybe that'll be the end of it. Who really knows? But once again, some frustrations coming from Call of Duty Modern Warfare spilling over into Black Ops Cold War. And we'll have to see how the season ends up for these guys. Doug, of course, grinding through the channel, decides who knows what will happen at the end of the season. Maybe next season if a Pro League team comes in, expansion teams. Doug could be on a pro team. Doug versus Accuracy. Definitely some storylines to keep your eyes on here for the future. And I pointed this out a few videos ago, but Crone tweets it as well. So I thought I would just mention it again. Papa Censor at the time, the Friends team, Accuracy, Tyrant, loser, bad lead, all of this good stuff. And yeah, great thumbnail from your boy at the time. Just a couple of things to finish off the video here with before we talk about League play and all the drama around that and some of the issues with the movement apparently being broken in the game right now later today. But as Crone also says, better look at the skins and a look at Toronto Ultras. So okay, there's some sort of promotional video coming out right here. You can see the player skins right here. That's pretty cool. They are all basically just copy and paste, right? You can see here they're effectively just the same design, but they've changed the colors, they've changed everything about them, which honestly it's not too bad. It's cool to have something like this in the game. I think even Slasher, like the esports journalist, was talking about it, the fact that okay, like other games even don't have this yet, and Call of Duty's introducing it not too many months after launch. So all things considered, it's not the end of the world. These are obviously coming at some point, and well, at least it is some step in the right direction. What I would love to have is the ability to get these from actually watching the game on on YouTube or something, rather than necessarily just having to buy them from the store. And yeah, one final thing as well, as Crone says regarding the auto sprint gentleman's agreement thing, and this is why you can argue it's somewhat ridiculous, this whole auto sprint gentleman's agreement, because okay, you're not allowed to push your left stick forward and you go flying off into the distance, but you're allowed to use paddles on the back of your controller to also make your movement easier and stuff like this. So those controllers and such are perfectly allowed to enable you to do button combinations better than you would be able to otherwise, but having it as a setting in the game all of a sudden gets a gentleman's agreemented, right? So there is some questions whether it should even be GA'd in the first place, and I think in the amateur side and in the challenger side, no one seems to really care too much if you do use it or not. But lots also to talk about later today, but I'm intrigued to hear your thoughts on all this stuff in the comment section below. Absolute chaos once again. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. It really helps out the YouTube algorithm know you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always, take care, and I will see you next time.